In this video, I will show you how to export from SDB. Normally, you would like to export from SDB if you have some materials on a computer or a server that you want to import on a different server or computer. First of all, it's important to understand where the files are stored on your computer. SDB is normally installed in this path. So within a folder called SDB, there is a subfolder that is called Impex. Impex is where your exported files will be stored. So this is good to know. Another good thing to know is where are your reading files, your scanned files. And on most systems, you find them in D, SDB scan. And there will be a folder per database. And inside this folder, you will have hundreds and hundreds of files that belongs to that database. So this is good to know. So if you don't know where your scanned files are, you can click on Amendments. You can mark the database. You can click Edit, and it will tell you where the reading files are stored. So now let's get started. Inside SDB, you have different levels. You have a complete database and you can export the whole database. You can also export a single subject, a single section, and a single task. So on each of the levels in SDB, you can export exactly what you need. In this example, we will show you all 4 export options. Let's start with the database. So to start the process, you click on Amendments. You get some editing tools down here. At the moment, DNS Malawi version 3, the whole database is marked and I want to export it. So make sure that it's highlighted. Click on Export. Give it a name. This information is only visible when the other person is going to import. So if you have any specific information, you can write that here. Produced December 2020, for example. Or you can write even more instructions. And you want to copy the scanned files found in this folder with as well. So when everything is ready, I click OK. It says exporting has been completed, and it says here the path where you find them. And up here, you can see that the files has been exported. It's not possible to read these files because they are database files. So the only thing you need to know is that every time you export, you will get 3 files with the same code with 3 different extensions. So all these 3 files need to be available in order to import and export. So this is for the whole database. Unfortunately, from the code, you can't see what it is, but during import, we will come back to that. So that's how you export a whole database. Now I'm going to show you how to export a subject. The same way, you copy this, you mark the subject you want to export, and you click Export. And you call it Subject 1, Social Studies. And then you can write an instruction. Please import into the database called DNS Malawi version 3, for example. So then when the person is going to import, he can see that he imports it to the correct database. All right. We also want to copy the scanned files, and I click OK. As soon as you do that, you will see here that you get a second pair of files. The codes are a little bit more different, than the subject, but it can be hard to know what is what. And in this situation, you can see that you have got 4 files. So obviously a subject consists of 4 files, while a database consists of 3. All right, so that was a subject. So if you want to export and import only a single section, you mark the section, export, you call it section name module 1, import into database DNS Malawi version 3, inside subject module 1. Okay, this is clear for the person who is going to import. So in this situation, he clicked copy scan files as well, and he marks it. And here you see another 4 files has been created, and it has been successful. So if you have a single task you want to export, you can also do that. Click on the arrow before the section 1, in this case. Mark the task you want to export and click export. Task teaching of social studies. Import into DNS Malawi. Subject social studies module 1. Again, it's very clear for the person who is going to import to see where this is going. I also copy the scan files and I click OK to export. And again, another set of files were added down here. So now you have a lot of files here. And unfortunately, you don't know which are the subject, which are the sections, and so on. So it's important that before you start any process with import-export, just delete all the files that is previously within this folder. So when you start the process, you know that all the files created, they are created by you. Now these files can be moved over to a CD. They can be moved and zipped into a folder and put in Dropbox, or distributed to somebody else who is going to receive this. So in this situation, I can go back, I can right click on this and I can zip it, for example. And now I have a folder here that I can send to the colleagues, and they can import it into another SDB system. So this is how you do the export. There's one problem you sometimes might experience. If you try to export and it says that exports ended successfully, but there's no files inside here. In that situation, you need to see the film that I've also made called Impex Folder Permissions to fix this, because it's normally caused by the database user not having permission to save inside this folder. So that's how you export from SDB, and to import, please see the other video in this series.